Yo, what is up guys, Ghost here, and today we're going to be talking all about DICE's new Halloween mid-season event. It is called Dark Protocol, and of course there's a new game mode coming with it that is called Killswitch. Some of you may have already seen the trailer because they've just dropped that on their official YouTube channel, so if you haven't already seen it, I'm sure I'll be playing it somewhere in the background for you guys. But as usual, DICE have also dropped a pretty in-depth blog post about the event, and it has a lot more details about the game mode that I want to go over with you guys. As always though, if you do enjoy the content here on the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future Battlefield videos. Feel free to join the Discord, hit me up over on X, aka Twitter, if you want to have a chat. And we are now streaming 3 days a week on Twitch, so if you guys fancy playing a few rounds of Battlefield 2042 together, by all means, feel free to drop by and see if I'm around. Okay, so the trailer looked pretty cool, definitely very Halloween-y, very scary. I really think this fits in well with the theme of the current season and of course Battlefield as a whole. Themed events have never really been that much of a Battlefield thing, like you can't really do too much with Christmas, it's just a bit too colourful and unmilitary-like, but I think Halloween is definitely something that Battlefield can take a big part in. So this is going to be a limited time event that is running from October 31st until the 14th of November. So don't worry, this is not going to be just a one-day event for Halloween. It's going to be running for a full 2 weeks. So Killswitch, what is this new game mode actually going to be about? Because all we really saw in the trailer is that you could unleash these synthetic AI controlled soldiers and that there are some sort of objectives to fight over. So they say here, Killswitch is our new limited time game mode. Your objective is to secure AI nodes and to use the on-site forge to create a swarm of synthetic soldiers, Geists, who will fight alongside anyone that spawns them. Defend your objectives, survive the onslaught, and stop the AI's spread. Killswitch is played as 12 versus 12 across Redacted, Manifest, Hourglass, and Spearhead, so that's quite surprising. I honestly expected this to be Redacted only because after all that is the focus of Season 6 and that's where this facility is at. So that's cool to see that we're going to get a few other maps there and a bit of variety. So AOS nodes are objectives around the level that will activate one at a time. You enter the node and hold it until captured, interrupted or otherwise to score the node, and then you get 1 point for your team. With no capture speed multipliers, a single teammate can hold the point and make capture progress, freeing the rest of the team to set up ambushes and prepare for a counterattack that is sure to come. So that right there is pretty interesting. Unlike Conquest Flags, where the more people you have in the cap zone, the faster you secure the objective, with these nodes you only need to have one player on there and any additional players aren't going to have any effect, so they're free to essentially go around, flank around and do whatever they like. The AOS nodes aren't the only objective. Boreas's Geist spawner, the Forge, is online. If you can't seem to break through the enemy's defenses or need more muscle to fortify a held point, interact with the Forge to deploy a small squad of Geists to ambush any enemies foolish enough to engage. So what this sounds like is essentially, if you can't break through into the enemy objective here, they've got a really nice choke point held, especially on a map like Redacted, where it is very meat grindery. You're going to be able to activate these Geists, which I'm going to assume, based on the footage that we saw, it wasn't exactly raw gameplay, there was no UI, but they looked pretty tanky, like they were meat shields, for lack of a better word. So I think you're going to be able to send them towards the enemy team, and then once the AI Geists go in, you then follow them up and essentially just break the enemy's position. Now once you take an AOS node, you score 1 point, disabling the node and activating the next one. Race the enemy to it and try to hold it as best you can through the barrage of gunfire and Geists. The first team to score 5 points wins. So it sounds here that there is only going to be one objective at a time. There is one node available, you're fighting over that node, and once somebody captures it, another one will spawn at a presumably random position on the map. So a little bit more on how the Geists work. Geists are key in reversing any advantage the enemy team has. Once a Forge is active, it will spawn a wave of Geists every few seconds, regardless of who owns the Forge. You have up until the very last second of a wave being synthesized to change the allegiance of the imminent horde and turn them to your side. So once a wave of these Geists has spawned, it sounds like they're either going to be on your team or on the enemy team when you flip the switch, it's not going to affect any Geists that have already spawned in. They also say here that the Geists are killing machines forged for the hunt, use a newly synthesized swarm as cover to assault an objective or to sniff out any enemies in their path. As allied Geists seek enemies, you're free to pick off any distracted foes foolish enough to not pay attention to the hidden predator, you. So by the sounds of this, of course, since the Geists are AI controlled, they are going to be able to, you know, of course, the computer knows where you are, right, at all points. It's not like a player. You can't really hide from the computer. So it sounds as though the Geists are essentially going to make a beeline straight for you. And then you're obviously going to have to open fire on them and alert the enemies to your presence. So the Killswitch objectives, known as nodes, will work differently from flags. Both teams simultaneously have capture progress, and the first team to hold the node for the assigned time will take the point. So that means that if your team makes 50% progress on a point and then you are pushed off it, you will retain that 50% while the enemy team makes their own progress on the point. So a comeback is always on the cards, never let your guard down. So unlike all of the other objectives in the game, like the flags and stuff like that, if you've got 50% progress here, the enemy team then pushes in, they're going to start from 0%. And then let's say that you get to 20% and you retake the node, you can then carry on from 50% again. Now, as with all of the previous mid-season events, there are, of course, new cosmetics and skins available to earn by acquiring ribbons and just playing Killswitch. So the rewards for week 1 here are the Clawed Ascension Rare Weapon Charm, the Sharp Sting Epic Vehicle Skin, and the Yellow Cake Epic Sundance Specialist Set. And then for week 2, we've got Hard Case, which is a rare player card tag, False Dichotomy, which is an epic weapon skin, and then Swift Trust, which is another one. Needless to say, there are also going to be various cosmetic packs up for sale on the in-game store, so if that's something that takes your fancy, that might be a place to look at. They have also provided us with this little infographic here, giving us a bit of a summary so you can see some of the cosmetics there. And one thing that it doesn't say in all of the text I just read for you guys is that this is going to be apparently infantry and light vehicles. So whereas Redacted, I'm sure, is going to be, as normal, infantry only, the other 3 maps are probably going to have some lighter vehicles available. So yeah, it looks pretty cool. I'm definitely looking forward to trying this next week. Hopefully, I will get a chance to squad up with some of you guys on stream and we can try it together. Now, before I go here, I just wanted to highlight an interesting post from the Battlefield Communications Twitter account. So they say here, due to unusual player activity on Battlefield Hazard Zone, whatever that means, we are temporarily reducing the amount of earnable XP from the following: data drive collection, XP from revives, and XP from being revived. We'll provide further updates on this temporary change as soon as possible. So what I think has happened here is somebody has basically started exploiting Hazard Zone for experience. And since they have decided to nerf the XP from being revived and giving out revives, I guess people have just been essentially letting themselves die to the AI soldiers within Hazard Zone and then laying on the floor and letting their teammate come and revive them. And doing that, they've been farming XP. As we all know, the XP grind for Season 6 has been real. It's been way too hard in my opinion. And so I think that's why players are just, you know, looking for any easier way of ranking up their battle pass. The irony is also not lost on me after Hazard Zone being one of the least played game modes ever since Battlefield 2042 released. And now finally people are playing it, albeit maybe, you know, just to exploit it and get some experience. And now DICE have decided to go and nerf it essentially and make people play it even less. But hey, there you go. Guys, leave me your thoughts on the new game mode down below. What do you think of this? I think it sounds pretty exciting, honestly. I'm really looking forward to this one. But by all means, leave me your thoughts down there. Thank you for watching the video, as always. Special thank you to my members and Twitch subs for your additional support. And I'll see you guys in the next one.